Hey everybody, Cobra DVS here with Derek's Game World.
Yep. So it's time for the next podcast here.
Yep, episode 3, Infrequent Jog Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. It's been, it doesn't really feel like it's been 2 weeks since the last
No,
episode.
it doesn't. When you asked me to record, I was like, "What?"
And I don't know if it's because we've been like cooped up in the house and time has just basically stood still or what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when you messaged me, I was like, "What do you mean record? Didn't we just do that?"
Yep, and it's weird because, we were talking in the last episode about the coronavirus, and how it's
Oh my God!
So like what might happen or whatever. It's weird being 2 weeks now, and it's like, well, we know what happened. The whole country is basically shut down.
Yeah, I mean, if you want toilet paper, good luck.
I went to Kroger one morning, pretty early, like at 7, to try and beat the rush, and they had some.
Wow! Oh wow!
Yeah, they did. They had it on like they put it like in the middle of the aisle kind of thing.
Yeah.
I grabbed. I just grabbed some. We didn't need it, but I was like, fuck, why not?
I mean, can't take the risk now. Look,
yeah,
the world here.
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll have a pretty good amount to talk about here on this episode. There's quite a few things going on, and we might as well just get it started. So we were kind of chatting beforehand about some of the news stuff, and we typically run them by each other before the recording to make sure we don't overlap each other. And since we were already talking about one of mine, we might as well just start with it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw it. It sounds like you didn't. There was a Nintendo Direct Mini not too long ago, where they made a bunch of announcements. I mean, it wasn't that mind-boggling. There wasn't a ton of stuff. But one of the things that was pretty interesting was 2K Games announced a lot of their series are coming over to Switch, and that includes XCOM. I think it's XCOM 2.
Yeah, XCOM 2.
Yeah, XCOM 2, the BioShock collection, and then the Borderlands Handsome collection, which now includes the pre-sequel.
No, now includes the first one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
which is phenomenal. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never played XCOM.
I've never played XCOM.
I would play it, but I'm not gonna probably buy it on Switch. I don't think it'd be worth it for me to invest $50 or $60 or whatever.
Right.
BioShock I have on Xbox One, I think.
I don't have it, so I'm definitely interested in the Switch version.
I used to. I don't know if I'm still doing that. I played through a fair amount of the first one, and I can't really remember why I stopped. I think something else came out that I actually wanted to play more.
Probably.
I've heard BioShock 2 is good, but it's very similar to the first one. And then that BioShock Infinite is like totally different, but extremely well done.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to get so much hate for this because it's an unpopular opinion. I think Infinite is the best BioShock.
Okay.
It's a beautiful game. It's really well done. The story is great. It's one of the better stories. And I don't know, I just had a phenomenal time with that game.
Is it related to the other two story-wise, or?
Not really, I don't think. But that being said, I haven't played a whole lot of the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know that. The problem was I played Infinite first, and now going back to the old ones and it being so different, I don't know. I didn't finish either one.
Right.
I need to play them again.
Yeah. I know they have a lot of fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, but I think probably the most exciting one for me and definitely for you would be the Borderlands set.
So I didn't know this until you told me like 5 minutes before we started doing this. That is unbelievable. I can't even express how excited I am for that.
Yeah,
Borderlands 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games of all time.
I remember when the first Borderlands came out, there was I had a dilemma because I just gotten a 360, and my dilemma was I had Halo 3 and stuff like that, but I didn't know what my next game should be. I don't know if I was going to be Gears of War, Fallout 3, or I think Borderlands was the third one.
All pretty excellent choices.
I did wind up going with Gears of War 2. Did I say 3?
You just said Gears of War.
Oh, okay, it was the second one. It was Gears 2.
That's probably the best one.
Yeah, I think it is too. Although the last two have been very good. I will say. But anyway, I ended up picking Gears 2, and I love that game. That was an awesome game. But I did eventually buy Borderlands 2, or the first one. Wow, that was a game changer for me. I mean, that was probably the first co-op game I played that like co-op instantly just made sense, and it was super fun to play.
It is one of the best co-op games ever, definitely.
There was a big because I was in high school at the time, and there was a big scene of getting modded weapons, and I had a class with some kid who knew how to mod a sniper rifle, and it would get taken away from me like in a couple of days because they would catch it or whatever, and I find out I had a modded gun.
I've never understood the argument. I got a lot of friends that have tried to play Borderlands, and every time they play it, their gripe is, I don't like the graphics.
You don't like the graphics?
No, everyone else doesn't. When I ask them if they like it, they say no, I don't like the graphics. I don't understand the hate on cell shading.
Well, here's the thing with cell shading is that it ages like wine. And in 20 years, when people play Borderlands, they're going to think, wow, that's the same reason why Wind Waker looks so good.
That's the same reason why cell damage holds up.
Yeah. I've never played that one, but I'm assuming it's cell shading.
It's a great game.
Yeah. But in 30 years, maybe a game like Destiny's not going to look so good. You know what I mean? But a game like Borderlands will have that sort of niche or sort of.
A game now does not. It's almost unplayable. It looks so bad.
What?
On original hardware, Oblivion.
Oh, on the Xbox 360.
Yeah. Oh my god. And Morrowind on the original Xbox too. It's like I don't think I could ever play this.
I'm a little bit afraid of that as I start dipping my toe into that original Xbox catalog. How far
well
back graphically can I go and still be okay with this? You know what I mean?
I know we are so spoiled,
and it's not to say like I guess graphically isn't really the right word because I play Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Saturn even all the time.
I mean,
but it's about
Ari.
Right, but a lot of those games have kind of an art style that still holds up, still works.
Right, but some just do not.
Once you pretty much hit the N64, that era, Saturn, PlayStation, there's very few games that I can sit down and with pure enjoyment and play, especially from a visual perspective.
Everyone hates on the 64, but I gotta say, I think the PlayStation holds up way worse.
Yeah.
Like 95% of the PlayStation library is unplayable.
I don't know enough about PlayStation to really even count, but I do agree that a lot of the games are not. A game like Symphony of the Night, that game's held up super well because of its art style.
Right.
But a game like
Siphon Filter and Resident Evil, holy fuck. I can't do it. And I had a PlayStation when I was younger and an N64, so I'm not being biased. I really think the N64 holds up a whole lot better.
I guess we'll talk about this a little bit more later when we talk about some of the games I've been playing, but it's really a matter of, in that era, the 64, PlayStation, and Saturn, and to an extent the Dreamcast even, it's all about the art style that they chose. So if they tried to go for a realistic polygon look, like GoldenEye, for example, the game is just going to look terrible nowadays.
Oh, definitely.
Not to say it's a bad game in any stretch, but that you just cannot... I cannot get over that hurdle to actually, you know what I mean, still really like it. Mario 64 is one of the few examples where I can do it. But I just love it.
Most of the 64 games that I bought or had as a kid were pretty much first party, so those all held up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Snowboard Kids 2, which I still want.
Mm-hmm.
Duck Dodgers, which I still want, and that's still expensive. Love that game. But don't get me wrong, some 64 games look absolutely terrible.
Yeah, think of a game like Paper Mario.
Oh, that game looks great.
Right, and it's all because of its art style.
That game definitely holds up. That's probably one of the best looking games, actually.
Probably. I think more to kind of get back to the root of the whole point, Borderlands is probably one of those games where in the future it will hold up because
I think so. I think so.
Do you remember when they did Borderlands 2 on the Vita, and that
Yes,
kind
and
of wasn't that good?
I've never played that, surprisingly, and I love the Vita.
Yeah, I
I've
remember
actually never had that game.
it was one of the things that I was like, wow, if they could get that running, because I bought the
Oh,
first one, but I also played the second one quite a bit too.
yeah, I don't know why I didn't buy it, because when they announced it, I was like, oh my god, Borderlands 2 on the Vita, gotta get it.
But it seemingly wasn't all that good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so this will be the first time we're playing. I can assume because it's they're gonna, unless they mess up the port, there's no reason the Switch can't run a very good version of Borderlands 2.
Right, like
Or the first one, or the
I'm sure the Switch is at least a little more powerful than a 360.
Yeah,
by a lot,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I don't know
the actual reason. Specs, there shouldn't be any reason why it can't.
Exactly. So that'll be fun. Now, one of the things that people were talking about this, which is why I'm surprised you didn't hear about it, because we're in that Switch collectors group. They've already said that there's going to be pretty significant download sizes for these things. They're physically being released, but it sounds like it's going to be one of those release / plus a large download type deals.
Oh, I guess I'll buy an SD card.
Yeah, you'll probably need one. I think XCOM was like 24 gigabytes on its own.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I get it that, and this is my whole take on the thing. I get that that's a pain in the ass that you're going to have to download that stuff. And maybe in, 50 years when you dust off your Nintendo Switch, you're not going to be able to play Borderlands 2 if you don't have it downloaded already. Well, but I mean, at the same time, come on, you're getting this on Switch. It's getting a physical format.
I know.
You kind of gotta roll with the punches sometimes.
But I just don't understand why it only has 32 gigs of internal storage. When, I mean, I do kind of get it. It's a small handheld, obviously. They can't put a big ass hard drive in it.
Well, I think the argument on the other side is more that why wouldn't they just all be on the cartridge? Now, I don't know the size of these games from a gigabyte standpoint. I'm imagining they're not. I mean, at the time, I'm sure they were quite big.
I'm thinking Borderlands is only 8 gigs or some shit.
Right, which at the time was a good size. Now they're not all that big. But so I can't really answer the question of why they're not all on the cartridge. I don't know if it's a size thing.
I think I can answer that question. So Switch cards go up to the 32 gigs, but I'd imagine it's a lot more expensive to make 32 gigs than 8 gigs and you download the rest. Yeah,
I'm sure it comes down to cost for sure.
Yeah, sure, by a lot.
I thought they could do. Is 32 the biggest they can do?
As of right now, I do believe.
Oh, okay. All right. So I don't know. If it's a game that you want to play, then great, it's there. If you don't, then look, you can play it on a million.
I'll tell you a Switch port that was excellent, but that also required a download. LA Noire.
Mm-hmm.
Switch version's very, very good.
Yeah, and most games nowadays do require a download, so I don't really get the.
Oh, dude, I've Red Dead's 100 gigs.
Yeah, it's definitely every PS4 and Xbox One game have a download. Most Switch games also do. So they're small typically, but they do exist.
They do exist, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's not spend too much time on it. That was could go on for another hour about that. What news articles have you got?
All right, so I'll start with the Modern Warfare 2 one. So a leak dropped. I think it dropped yesterday. That a remaster of Modern Warfare 2 is coming. This is according to a PSN listing in Germany, and it was expected to release tomorrow for $30. Now, so they've been rumoring that this was coming forever and ever and ever and ever, and they've also been rumoring that it would only contain the campaign and no multiplayer. That seems to have been confirmed here, which really blows because I don't give a shit about the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Now that being said, Modern Warfare 2, I spent so much time on that as a kid with my friends. One of my favorite shooters ever. Got a lot of memories. So
that was back at a time where the where that was sort of when Call of Duty was stealing the Halo thunder a little bit.
That's when it really took off. It was
yeah, it kind of started with Modern Warfare and World at War, but Modern Warfare 2 was sort of like, all right, we're moving on. You know?
And then when Black Ops came out, that was ridiculous. That was a huge launch.
And I overall, I've not been a huge fan of most Call of Duty games, but I did buy that one, and the campaign was fun. Also,
the campaign is good, but I'm not going to pay for it.
Right. The Spec Ops mode was really good.
Oh, Spec Ops mode's great. Who knows? This leak might not even be real, but I thought it was interesting.
Wasn't this heavily rumored beforehand anyway?
It's been rumored for years, literally years. Which I expected it was going to happen. I'm just pissed off. There's no campaign or no multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But I like some of the Call of Duty games. Call of Duty 4, I played that when it was coming out, and that was like the first person shooter I really played. That's not like GoldenEye, online multiplayer and stuff. And
yeah.
Then I got Modern Warfare 2, and I played up through let's see. So I played Modern Warfare 3, and then I played Black Ops 2. And after Black Ops 2, I kind of took a... Well, I still bought them, but they got progressively worse. Like, Advanced Warfare and Ghosts are horrible. And I think we played the Black Ops 2 and Ghosts on the Wii U, didn't we not?
We did. Black Ops 2 is hands down my favorite.
That's a great game. And on the Wii U, actually really good.
Yeah, it was a lot. My buddy and I especially spent so much time playing that game. I was... for the Wii U crowd, so take it with a grain of salt. But I was actually decent at that game.
Oh yeah, so was I.
I'm sure if I played on Xbox, I'd get shit on. But
I was really unfortunate. The Wii U is basically dead, and you'll never be able to play it again.
It's full of like Brazilian kids now. It's weird. I've played it, and it's there's not very many people play, and everybody who does speaks Spanish, so they're either Mexican, and I don't know why I thought they were Brazilian. Maybe I read that somewhere. I don't know, but anyway, it's not quite the same crowd. But I'm not. It doesn't bother me at all.
Just kind of weird though.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like in those. I don't know if they're third world countries or not, but those cheaper consoles, those consoles become cheaper and more available to them as they go out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they can kind of hang. Plus, it's free online, so they don't have to pay for the.
Well, that's true, and I wish the Switch online was free.
Yeah. Well, if it had better games to, there's some games on there that are good to play, but I find myself not missing the online.
It just
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. It just doesn't offer anything really to me.
Although I do want those Super Nintendo controllers.
Yeah, those are cool.
They're only like $30, I think.
I know they're not. Yeah, I don't think they're too expensive.
And I have the NES ones.
Are they like sold out everywhere though?
They come back in stock periodically.
So that's pretty much that news article. If you want.
Did they mention a price on it?
Yeah. It's the leak said. Let me find it here.
If it's just the campaign, I can't imagine it being more than like $20.
$30.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a little.
Maybe
does it have Spec Ops? Did it say that?
It says campaign only.
Oh, well, that's lame. Spec Ops was like the best part of that game.
Right? Yeah. Like I don't see myself ever paying for this unless I find it, down the road for $2, which I know will happen. Like every Call of Duty game, they're all worthless now.
Right. So I'll move on to my next article. Originally I was going to talk about the Switch shortage that's kind of across the country where you can't find a Switch anywhere for some reason. Must be coronavirus related. Either that or maybe Nintendo's supply chain got hurt by the coronavirus thing. It's either that or everybody's buying them because they're now stuck in the house.
Right, maybe. Well, they also bought it for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it could be that too.
There.
But I actually wanted to talk about something else, and I forgot about it until we started the video. And if this is true, then it'll be super, super cool. But apparently, and I don't know if you've seen this or not because we haven't talked about it, but Nintendo is planning to remaster a ton of old Mario games this year.
I did not see that.
This year for Mario's 35th anniversary.
Is this confirmed?
No. So it's heavily rumored by a billion different articles or websites. We're talking, GameSpot, Kotaku. I don't know.
I've been saying that for years.
So here's the games we're talking about. The specific games haven't been mentioned. Where does it say here? All the articles I've seen have been talking about the Galaxy games, Mario 64, and Sunshine.
I don't really care about Sunshine. Not a big fan of that game, actually.
I mean, that's kind of a divisive game. I would say of most of the mainline Mario games, that one's one of the more polarizing.
Oh, definitely. You either love it or you hate it.
So I guess the blanket statement is most of Super Mario's 35-year back catalog, which could go all the way from, I don't know, Super Mario Brothers to Odyssey, but obviously they're not going to remaster Odyssey. But
right.
So
I guess tell you, if they give me Mario Galaxy for the Switch, I'll not. That is my favorite Mario game, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
I think those would be great for a remaster. I do wonder how they would do the controls. I know you can do wireless. I know you can do motion on Switch, but what about handheld mode and stuff like that?
Right. Well, it's Nintendo. I'm sure they're working that out.
Yeah.
If this is real.
Yeah, if this is real, for sure. If it is, I mean, Super Mario 64 has me excited because that's my favorite, one of my favorite games ever. To play a remastered version of that would be cool.
It's funny. Everyone says Mario 64 best game, and I had it when I was a kid. That was probably the game I played the least. I am just not a big fan of Mario 64. But I'm not a big fan of any of those games, and I know I'm about to get a lot of hate, but don't really like Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, like those 3D platformers. They just don't really do it for me.
Collect-a-thon style games.
Yeah, just not into it.
Yeah. I put countless hours into Mario 64. I can't even...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I played a lot as a kid. Even though it was my least played, I still played it a lot because I played games all the time.
Yeah.
But...
Sunshine would be interesting because that game hasn't been touched at all since it first came out. And it's been 18 years.
Yeah, it came out and they never said anything else.
No sequel, which most of these games don't get sequels directly. Like Galaxy's an exception.
I've got friends that love that game, and I do not like it, really. That game is so hard.
Mario Sunshine, actually I was talking to my buddy about it earlier today. It rides the fine line between fun and tedious and difficult.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very difficult game to 100%. It's a lot harder than like a Mario Odyssey. Not necessarily to 100%, but to actually beat the game. The game is really difficult. It's not always times
hard.
Yeah, it's not all the time like the fun kind of difficult. So it's kind of, that's why I can see why some people don't like it. But I like it. I
know some people like a challenge, but for people like me, I have no patience. I have almost no patience. So after like 10 tries, I'm like, to hell with this.
And to beat that game, you've got to get, there's blue coins in that game. You have to collect them all to turn them into stars. I think it's 5 or 10 blue coins you can then turn in, and that's a star. So you'd have to get all these blue coins, which are very difficult to get. There's so many. I don't know. I can see why some people don't like it, but I'm a fan. Then obviously
I didn't have it when I was a kid, so sorry to cut you off. But I never had Mario Sunshine as a kid, so I have no nostalgic value for it either.
Right. I do think Galaxy 1 and 2 would probably lend themselves best to a remaster, just because they're no
offense, with the Wii looks like shit.
Right. Well, yeah, but those games, the environments would look really good in HD.
Oh God, that's some of the most colorful games ever.
Yeah, so that would be cool. Anyway, if this is true, this is pretty big, and that would kind of fill up the void of what's coming out this year, because there's not really a lot that's mainline Nintendo announced.
I was gonna say, what the hell are they even doing right now?
Not sure. My guess is that Zelda's probably not coming out this year. It seems like they would have mentioned it by now. Metroid is at least probably 2 years off. It would be my guess.
I can't believe they're still working on that game. In fact, they started over.
Yeah, I think that was that 2018 or 19 they announced that.
I don't remember, but I
had to be 19.
I do
It's
remember when they said they're starting over, and I was like, "Oh my god, this game's never getting made."
It's gonna be expensive.
It's like Half-Life 3.
But they did have rumors not too long ago about a Paper Mario, and I think we even talked about it, and a 2D Metroid. So there's still time.
I think we did touch on that.
Yeah, but then this Mario stuff would really fill out like the catalog. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand they've announced.
I don't either. I can't remember anything. But then again, E3 is right around. Well, sort of right around the corner. Sort of E3 is sort of right around the corner. When they do their Nintendo Direct in early June, we'll have a better idea.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what else is coming. And I gotta say, it's the turnaround they did from the Wii U to the Switch, going from like no supporters to having like companies you've never worked with on board.
Yeah,
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So anyway, that'll be exciting. I'm hoping this one's true.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So, what about you? You've got another one, huh?
Yeah. So, GameStop has announced. This is from the March. This one is from March 28th. It's on GameSpot. GameStop has announced plans to close more than 300 stores in 2020, but they said it's not part of the ongoing crisis. Apparently, the chief financial officer, Jim Mill, announced it during the last fiscal earnings call. I don't know when that was. So, all right. So, not to talk about GameStop too much again, but with this shit that's going on, coronavirus and whatever, I can't imagine they're making any money right now.
Yeah, I kind of have a hard time believing it myself.
I can't imagine they're making anything right now.
Yeah, online sales maybe, but they've got to be hurting, as most places are.
Well, here's the thing though. Even before all this shit was going down, GameStop was going in the toilet, and we've talked about it before. But I just don't know if there's anything they can do to save themselves.
Yeah, we gotta see what Reggie does.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Reggie joined
the board.
Yeah, hopefully he can have some influence because they do nothing right.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Every time GameStop comes up in an article, it's never good.
Yeah, it's bad news. Yeah, and they had that controversy when the coronavirus hit that they deemed themselves an essential business.
Oh, I know.
So that they could stay open.
Like, bro, you're not essential.
And then they took that eventually back. And,
yeah, well, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, so.
If I was an employee, I'd been like, "The hell with this! I'm going home."
Yeah,
I'm locking the store and I'm going home.
So I mean, they have really just a bad public image.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like their brand is so ruined. How do you even change that? Because I don't understand what they're like. Who's running this? Like when they changed the Power Up Rewards cards a few months ago, and now there's no discount on pre-owned games, and you only get $5 a month coupons that you have to use that month. So what the hell am I going to buy for $5?
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know.
And it's hilarious. I went into the GameStop that I worked at maybe a month ago, and I was talking to my boss, and I had my Power Up Rewards thing, and she asked me how I was liking it, and I said I fucking hate it. I think this is ridiculous, and she goes, "Oh, I think it's great. This, that, and the other." I'm like, "You're just trying to sell this. You don't care." Dude, my manager is like a machine, and she looks about 50, and she's like 26 because the job is killing her. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. I think it's just there's the problem for me with it is that there's just such a better one for me at Best Buy that it's just not even worth it. Like I have zero interest at all.
And I don't even have Gamers Club.
Yeah.
Well, you have it though. I use your word.
Yeah.
Places like Walmart and stuff sell games cheaper.
Yeah, they're all like 10% off at those places.
Yeah, so it's like, why would I go to GameStop unless it's an exclusive that I want?
Yeah.
But most of the exclusives I don't care about, other than Katamari.
Which ended up getting released everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, which I just saw at Best Buy the other day. So.
They did do that Borderlands 1 remaster, though, didn't they? Wasn't that exclusive there?
Yeah, that was exclusive there. I never did buy that. I'm kind of glad I didn't now if it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be that remastered version or how updated it'll be, but yeah.
Wow. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think it needs a remaster.
Yeah, again, because basically that art style sort of
I played through the first one probably, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago. Perfectly playable. Perfectly playable. Not a strain on the eyes at all.
Yeah, they're good.
So whatever version they give me, I'm sure it's going to be great. And didn't 2K only put out one game for the Wii U?
Well, there's 2K13 basketball. What else? 2K.
I think that's it.
That could be it. I mean, I could go over there and look, but I'm not going to bother.
I want to say that is the only 2K game on the Wii U.
It very well could be.
And it's funny, so touch on this real quick. There's a guy on YouTube, I don't know if you've watched him at all, Adam Korlick.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, so he actually works in the video game industry a lot with Sega. He's the big Shenmue guy.
Okay.
He went to 2K's offices while the Wii U was out, and he was like, they have the development kits, they're just not making games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Which was eventually the fate of pretty much every company that was working with the Wii U.
Yeah. So it does look like 2K13 was the only one.
One game. Now they're putting out like some of the best games ever.
And these weren't even that good of games either.
I'm still
NBA 2K13. I mean,
I'm still hoping and praying that one day Bethesda is going to say Fallout 3 is coming to the Switch.
I mean, that wouldn't be that surprising at all.
Or New Vegas. I'll take either one, but I know Obsidian did New Vegas. I don't know who has rights there.
I'm sure Bethesda does.
But oh my God, that's like the dream. Like you put that on Switch, I don't need to buy another Switch game ever. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'd be playing that shit for hours.
I mean, they could easily bundle those two games up together. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean, how big?
They could even put Fallout 4 on there probably in some capacity. Although the game's kind of, well, I guess they're all kind of janky, aren't they? Like a little bit glitchy and whatever.
Yeah, they are. But like, I was thinking about the other day, I was like, I bet they could put Fallout 4 on the Switch.
Yeah,
I bet it can be done.
Yeah, if they're gonna put Doom Eternal on the Switch, they could
yeah, right. Like that game's, Fallout 4 is 5 years older.
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting for him to announce it. Fallout's coming to the Switch. Fallout 76 Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, comes with a free Nintendo Online subscription.
God,
but it's $59.99.
Yeah, so I'm not winning here.
Yep, that's a bummer. But eventually, probably.
But
all right, so
that was the last news article that I had.
Yep, same. I just we touched on mine. I kind of switched it up with that Mario announcement. So we can move on to the spotlights. So you've got the retro game spotlight this week. You can go ahead with that if you're ready.
All right, so N64 game this week.
Is it aged like milk or like wine?
It's in my opinion, I think it holds up.
Okay,
pretty good. I played this game so much as a kid, probably my second most played game. 1080 snowboarding.
Never have I played this.
And it's funny because I don't, other than SSX, I could give a shit about snowboarding games.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it's more arcade style, not really simulation. I'm just not big on the simulation stuff.
Right.
But oh my God, I mean, me and my dad played countless hours of that game, and had such great memories.
The 1080?
Yeah, I mean, because he was a big into snowboarding. He was also a professional skateboarder.
Oh, okay. So is it
right
better than Snowboard Kids, or?
I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and it is close. But I do love Snowboard Kids 2 a lot. Like that might have been my most played game. I played so much of that, so I don't know. It's a tough call.
I've never really played either of them, to be honest with you.
Oh, I mean, if you want to play a snowboarding game on a classic system, I gotta say those are the two best.
Now there's a sequel on GameCube, right? Is it Avalanche or something?
10A Avalanche, not quite as good, but still pretty good, worth having.
Okay.
I'd say it's still worth owning. There's a version actually that comes with a bonus DVD. I don't remember what it is though.
On GameCube?
Yeah, some version that comes with an extra disc.
It's odd.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Because you can't even play DVDs on a GameCube.
I know, right? Poor GameCube, it got the shaft. Still got some of the best games ever, though.
Yeah, it does. A lot of those games have held up. I know we've kind of been talking about it. But...
Yeah, I would say, I mean, of the games that I played as a kid, I would say all of them hold up pretty good.
Yeah. You can play a lot of them. No, I was thinking 64. Sorry, I was going to say you can play a lot of them on HD, but that's 64.
I will say, as much as I love the PS2, big PS2 fan, had it as a kid, never had an Xbox, had a GameCube, love the PS2, favorite game of all time on the PS2. But
GTA 3?
Yeah. But I will say, I think of that generation, which PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and technically Dreamcast for like 2 months.
Right.
I think the PS2 holds up the worst of the three.
Well, I think graphically, or from like a tech standpoint, it was the least powerful, wasn't it? I used to think it was the GameCube, but I think it's actually not true.
I do believe it's the PS2.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, that being said, some games look great if the developers knew what they were doing, but some just look horrible.
Yeah.
Like, the game, like, it's so bad. Like, the GameCube and Xbox ones, I will take any day over the PS2 versions.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like collecting the Xbox stuff, because you get a lot of
you get a lot of improvements.
Yeah, you typically get the best version of the game, but then it also has a lot of games that those other systems just couldn't run. Like Doom 3 is a good example.
Right, yeah. The Xbox was the most powerful, I believe.
Oh yeah, it was by a decent margin the most powerful, which doesn't necessarily translate to meaning it has the best games.
No, I mean we've learned that in the past with systems. Graphics doesn't make sales.
Yeah, but still pretty good. So, all right, yeah, no, I've never played that. Never even owned it.
Oh, it's a real cheap game. I got a complete copy from my game store for I think $9. It's a real cheap game. Snowboard Kids 2, on the other hand, is like $300, and I'm pissed off because I sold mine. Which was it was fully complete with the registration card, the controller card. I don't even know where I got that. Probably Tyler Sharp.
Oh,
to be honest, I probably got it from him.
Huh.
But yeah, both great games. Highly recommend.
So that means that I've got the modern game, and I always whenever we do these, I always struggle to pick one that, because there's a handful of games that I talk about often, and I want to make sure that I don't pick a game that I talk about all the time.
Yeah, so I know what you mean.
Yeah, this week I picked one of the first Switch games I owned.
Oh, this should be good.
But it's a very unique game. A game called Snake Pass.
Oh.
Yeah, so have you played it?
No, I want it though.
Yeah. So obviously there's a physical version now through Super Rare, but back in
kind of expensive.
Yeah, it is. It's not the cheapest, but it's obviously a digital game too. That's where I played it first. I do have a physical copy now because I liked it. Yeah, because I liked it so much. I wanted to get a physical copy. The gist of the game is, think of like, you mentioned earlier you're not huge on collectathons, like Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64.
Right.
And quite frankly, I'm not of that particular style. I'm not the biggest fan either. But
you know what game it reminds me of?
What?
Like from the cover, Snake Rattle and Roll on the NES.
Oh yeah, because there's the snake on it.
Like that's kind of what I assumed.
Yeah, so you actually play as that snake, and he has like a bird sidekick. I can't remember either of their names, to be honest with you. But I did 100% complete this game, 100%. And the gist is that it is very good. It's just that you are on these. Each level is like its own little. how do you want it, like diorama, sort of like every level is on its own. They're very much levels, and they're not overly large. They're fully 3D or whatever. And you need to go and collect all these items to eventually unlock the exit and move on.
Right.
But there's a lot of bonus items that you can also collect, which then is what gets you to that 100% completion rate. But what's so unique about the game? There's a couple of things. First of all, the art style is very good. It's very much like what those Banjo-Kazooie type games would probably look like nowadays.
Oh, okay.
And the music is by David Wise, which which was enough to make me want to buy it anyway. If you don't know,
everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah, if you don't know who that is, he did the Donkey Kong Country series soundtrack. Probably some other rare games, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. But notably Donkey Kong Country. And he's been involved in the Donkey Kong Country remakes too. His music has a very unique sound. Like you can always tell you're listening to a David Wise sound, and it's
right.
kind of hard to pinpoint. I don't know if it's the instruments he uses or what, but it's good. So that was enough to get me to want to be interested in the game. And then when you play it, the most interesting thing and the thing that's going to turn people off immensely are the controls, because you're controlling a snake, and it's physically the way snakes work is very different than the way most video game characters work. Most are like bipeds of some sort.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's got to be kind of weird.
It is. So there's a button. Obviously, the joystick you move around, but there's also a button that makes you move forward. And snakes, if you look at when a snake actually moves forward, they don't do it in a straight line. They do it in an S shape.
Yes.
Right, and it's just the way it has to go. So in this game, you have to do that, and you have to consistently think about the physics of how a snake works.
Interesting. So it's actually like kind of realistic.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You have to use that to then solve the puzzle. So you can constrict yourself to hold on tighter to things. You can lift your head a little bit, but you can't just straight up lift yourself off. You can't, if you're laying flat on the ground, you cannot lift your head up more than like a couple, maybe like a couple feet.
Right.
So to get to these high areas, you've got to really learn how to use the constricting method, when to like glide forward, when to not. If you are interested in the game and you actually learn how to use those controls, it's exceptional. It's really good.
Fun.
It's super good. But if you're put off by the controls, if you're not sure about the game and you pick it up and then you start playing the game and the controls are off-putting, I can see how it would be sort of difficult for somebody to fully invest themselves into it. But I was grabbed from pretty early on once I learned the ins and outs of it, and it is super good.
Okay, I'd like to have a copy.
And oh, gosh, I don't know. Am I making this up? For some reason, I'm thinking they announced a sequel.
I don't remember hearing that, but
I guess I don't either. Maybe it was the guy or the company's working on their next game or something. I can't remember. Anyway, super fun. I think it's like a $20 game on the eShop. In my mind, it's one of the very first Switch games that was out. 100% worth it.
Okay.
And if you're interested in the physical version, you're gonna have to pay for it a little bit. In fact, I can see what it's going for right now.
I think it is a little pricey.
So it looks like the cheapest sealed copy, well, that one's not sealed, would be $170.
What?
That seems pretty steep. I'm not suggesting that at all, but I think if you did buy the digital version, it's a really fun game. Plus, that soundtrack is just golden.
All right, maybe I'll have to succumb to the digital version.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go on sale. Those games go on sale all the time.
Well, that's true, but I'd like to play that. It sounds really fun.
It is good, really good. Maybe I'll do a review on that for the channel at one point.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yep. So that is my pick. It's a game I do mention on occasion to some people, but it rarely comes up in conversation.
Oh no, I've never seen anybody talk about that game.
Yeah, real good.
Not since it first came out.
Yeah, and it was one of the earliest Switch games.
I think I remember that. That's a super rare game, right?
That's who released the physical version, yeah. It's published by... I think Sumo Digital developed it. I don't know who published it. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. When did this come out? Let me check it out. Make sure I'm not out of my mind here. Let's say it actually came out in March of 2017. So that's a year. When did the Switch come out? Yeah, that's right about
March of 2017.
Yeah, that's
March
right.
3rd.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it was real early to the game. Probably the third game I bought. I had fourth, Zelda Bomberman, Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment, and then this.
Spectre of Torment. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's one of the expansions. It's actually my favorite one.
Oh, for Zelda.
No, Shovel Knight.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Never played that game.
Yeah.
No, I need to because I know it's really good too.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I'll just get it on Switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they just released the physical version of it too. The whole.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Treasure trove, I think they call it.
Yeah, I'd like to buy that too.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I can't go anywhere. So.
Yep. All right. Well, that's good. So with that, we can move on to the games we are playing segment. I just did a lot of talking, so why don't you go ahead?
All right, so the first one here is actually a game that me and my buddy have been playing a lot of recently, and it's a great 2-player game, and it's Bust a Move on the N64. I think we're playing Bust a Move 99, but both games are just excellent.
Is Bust a Move the one where you shoot the balls up?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great game.
Oh, I love Bust a Move. Every Bust a Move game is great, even though they're really pretty much all the same. Pretty much doing the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, the one on the DS, I think, is unbeatable due to a game-breaking glitch.
Really?
Yeah, I think at some level it just doesn't progress.
Huh.
But yeah, Bust Move is great. We've been playing a lot of that.
Those are really good. Fun fact about, or not really a fun fact, but an interesting thing about Bust a Move. There's a very good version of it on the Game Gear, and
I know it's on the Gear. I didn't know it was good.
Yep, and for some reason, I can't remember why, I had 2 copies of the game, and I had 2 Game Gears. And just sort of on a whim, a buddy of mine and I both kind of popped it in at the same time and started playing it. And then, hour and a half, 2 hours later, we wrapped it up. It's just a really fun game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of relaxing, but it does get stressful at times.
Yeah. But the games last a lot longer than like a Tetris.
It's like the perfect 2-player game, though.
Do you battle against each other?
Yeah. That's what we do.
Very nice. No, that's a great game.
And we have a blast. We'll play that shit for hours.
Yeah. Do you know the one on, I think it's PlayStation 2 that has that baby's face?
Oh, I think I have that. Yeah.
That's the worst cover art.
That is the well, the Saturn one is pretty terrible, too, with the eye open. With the thing.
Must be Bust a Move 2. Actually, I have that.
I mean, I guess.
It's Bust a Move. Yeah, it is, because Bust a Move 3 is also on there, but it has good artwork with the this little dragon guys.
Yeah, some of the Bust games have some wild artwork. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe, I mean, what was going on there?
I had no. I remember I used to see that game in the stores. No idea what it was.
What would you assume?
Yeah,
I'd assume it's a baby simulator or something.
I think it's a baby blowing a bubble or something.
Yeah, as a kid, I would have looked at that and said, "Oh, what the hell is that?"
Yep, exactly.
All right, so you can go on to your first pick.
Sure. Well, I played and finished Doom Eternal since the last episode.
You did beat it.
I did, yeah. So obviously being, at home, I had a little extra time. I mean, I'm still working during the day, but at the end of the day, I don't have to drive home, so I have a lot more time to play it. And I finished it up on Saturday. I think it was Saturday morning. So it took me a little over a week. That makes it sound like it's a short game. It's very much not a short game. I just played it a lot.
I was gonna say, you're such a Doom fan.
Yeah, it is very, very good. It's like they took 2016 and kind of cranked it up to like 11. Yeah. It's extremely difficult on the higher settings. I played it on the ultra violence, which is like the second from the highest. It's very difficult, but once you learn how to actually play the game and how the mechanics work, the gameplay loop is just it's like crack. You have to keep playing it.
I can't believe that they're gonna put that on the Switch.
I can't either. After playing it, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, they're doing it, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, I don't physically understand how it's gonna fit.
I will buy it. I will double dip if and I'll play through it again on Switch for sure,
Oh yeah,
without a question. Um, I beat the game. There's a couple of things to do afterwards. There is some multiplayer modes and stuff like that. I'm not too interested in that. I did get the collector's edition, or not the collector's, the deluxe edition or something, which comes with a season pass, which I normally don't do. But they're doing some DLC, some campaign DLC, which was what was the first game had DLC, but it was all multiplayer, which I didn't care about.
right.
So I'm hoping or waiting around for that, but it was worth the wait. It was really good. Really good.
All right, good. I mean, I do want it. I do want to play it.
It'll be cheap soon enough. I mean, this game is,
That'll be dropped soon. They don't, dude. New games last like, I swear it seems like 3 weeks, and they're on sale.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
All
so
right.
About you have more?
Yeah. Yeah, I do actually. So another game me and my buddy have been playing a lot. Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo.
That's so good.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of that. And I assume David Wise did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also another amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, one of the best.
Pretty hard game. Decently hard game.
It is pretty difficult. I would say of the 3, it's the easiest one, I think. On Super Nintendo. Of the 3 Donkey Kong.
Well, to be honest, I haven't played a whole lot of Donkey Kong Country 3.
That one's tough. That gets tough.
Yeah, I've heard that. I also think it's kind of agree it's also the worst one.
A lot of people say that, and I don't quite really know why. They're all kind of like, they're really all kind of the same.
Well, that's what I assume.
But I don't know if I could call it the worst one. I wouldn't put it above or below any other one, I don't think. I think the first one is probably the best, just from the standpoint of how like good it is, and it was the first one. But I think they're all on par with each other.
Interesting. I mean, I do love the second one.
Yeah, Diddy's what's it? Dixie's Conquest?
No,
Diddy's
Kong. It's Diddy. It's actually Diddy Kong's Quest. If you read the title,
it's not Diddy's Conquest.
No, it's Diddy's Conquest.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Wait,
not Diddy Kong's Quest. It's Diddy's Conquest, right?
Yeah.
I do remember that being.
But I didn't realize that for years.
Yeah, this doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
And it doesn't really make sense until you understand the whole point of the game is to get DK back.
Right. Yeah. Then you would understand. But if you were a kid, you'd probably. Well, you don't probably obviously know that.
Misprint,
yeah, rare variant.
Yeah. So did you beat it?
No, we're almost done with the first one, and then I think we're gonna move on to the second one.
I mean, talk about an awesome co-op game.
That also holds up very well.
Yeah, is that how you guys are playing it? Fully co-op?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never played a 2D platformer that has had better co-op than that series.
We're also playing it. We're really taking it back to the time. We're also playing it on a TV from like '93.
That's the best way to do it.
It looks great. I mean, it holds up great.
Yeah, you talk about games holding up. The graphics on that game still look awesome.
Real quick, another Super Nintendo game that holds up really good, in my opinion, is Pile of Wings.
I don't have any. I've never played that game.
I'm self-proclaimed #1 Pile of Wings fan right here. I don't think you can find a bigger fun than me.
No, don't they talk about that game having Mode 7, a lot of Mode 7 graphics?
Yeah, like it's really impressive what they could do for the time. But when I got my 3DS, Pile of Wings Resort was a launch game. That and Steel Diver, which I didn't buy that piece of shit. But I did buy Pile of Wings, and oh my god, it's just so fun and relaxing. Pick up and play for 20 minutes.
What's the point of what's the gameplay of it? You know what I mean?
I mean, you basically you fly through rings, Superman 64.
Really?
No. So yeah. So you have different options of vehicles. You have plane, jetpack, and like bicycle that can fly with wings that you pedal. And the goal is basically to go through some rings, checkpoints or whatever, and stop correctly in the stopping area. I mean, it's really nothing to it. I mean, you can do whatever you want, really. Just fly around, fuck around, whatever. But it's just, I don't know, really peaceful. Really love it. 64 one's great. Not a game I had when I was a kid. Wish I did. But yeah, really great. It's also like literally 99 cents on the 3DS if you want it for some reason.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's worthless. GameStop sells it for 99 cents.
Is that on the DS version you're talking about? Or 3DS?
Well, I mean both the N64 and Super Nintendo ones are also dirt cheap.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. There's one on 64 too.
Yeah. Also good.
Huh. I make another one of those.
I've been hoping and praying we're gonna get one on the Switch along with F-Zero.
Yeah. You and a million other people. They'll come out after Half-Life 3. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in 40 years from now.
Yeah.
All right. You got another one?
I do. It goes along with Doom Eternal. Now, when you pre-ordered Doom Eternal, it came with a copy of Doom 64 remastered.
Yeah, you told me you were playing that.
Yeah. So, actually, if you want a free copy of Doom 64 remastered, I'll give you my Xbox code.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I bought it on Switch. I'm not going to play the Xbox version.
Sure. How much was it on the Switch?
$5.
Oh, well, shit. I might have to get it on there, too.
Yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about earlier games that have aged really well. Doom 64 has aged pretty well because it's sprite based. It's not polygons.
I mean, me and my buddy were playing the original the other day, original hardware, and I mean, other than the fact that it's dark as hell,
it's too dark. It is.
It's extremely dark. It does play great.
For a
Doom game. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's a good game, and it's really the perfect Doom 3. So Doom 1 and Doom 2, and then Doom 64 should be Doom 3. It's actually, from a story-wise, it is Doom 3.
Really?
Because the actual Doom 3 is just a remake of Doom 1 from the story side. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so what they did, and this is what made me really excited about it. Not only is it remastered, so it's in, it looks gorgeous, it's crystal clear, runs at 60 frames, whatever. They fixed the lighting, so this one's actually much more playable, by the way.
Yeah, you mentioned that, thank God.
Yeah, but they actually made a additional episode that ties Doom 64 into Doom 2016. So there's
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a story arc that sort of happens, and you read a lot about it actually in Doom's Eternal, the Codex, the stuff that you pick up. What happens between those two games, and that third episode or that final episode of or extra bonus episode on Doom 64 Remastered is sort of meant to kind of bridge that story.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
pretty cool though.
Yeah, when I read that, I was super excited. For $5, I mean, this is an unbelievable price.
Yeah, $5.
Yeah, I'd pay $20 for this. I shouldn't say that, but I would.
Well, I mean, I got games that I'd pay a lot for that are worthless.
Yeah.
To most people, like Grand Theft Auto 3, one of the most common PS2 games. It's like $1. I'd pay $100 for it if I had to.
Yeah.
I love that game.
So I've beaten the original game. I'm now playing through they call it the Lost. I think they call it the Lost episode. I think that's what they call it. It's separate from the game, so once you beat the original game, and then you can play this. So it's a really good game. And these Lost episodes, they feel just like they're from the original game. So there's no.
That's good. Yeah,
they're good. They're quality. And it's really a fun, really I would say one of the most underrated first-person shooters ever.
For
Doom 64.
Yeah. Oh, you don't mean Doom on the Saturn?
No, I very much don't. Oh god, Doom 64, and I guess a lot of people, if they don't know or follow Doom or care at all, they would just probably assume Doom 64 is a port of Doom 1.
I mean, to be honest,
it's not.
I thought at first.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not at all.
It couldn't have that gimmick of 64 in the name.
Exactly.
Every game.
Like Duke Nukem 64, that's just a port of Duke 3D. That's all that is. So I mean, it's a very port. It's supposed to be called Doom Absolution.
I think I knew that.
And I think the final, I don't know if it's the final level, is actually called Absolution. But anyway, so it's super good. The person who made this or who ported it is the same people who ported Turok 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did some other games too. They did there's a list out there.
I would also like to get Turok.
That's also really good. I beat
that.
So
I've heard. You only got the first one, right? Or did you get the 2-pack?
I got the pack. I got the 2-pack, yeah. So I do need to play that.
How much was that?
I think it was $60.
That's not bad.
Yeah. You can buy them both from Best Buy right now.
Oh, are they at Best Buy?
Yeah.
Okay. Might have to look into that.
Yeah. Plus my discount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Saving my life.
But and there was this same guy. I'm pretty sure I'm getting this right. I didn't look this up before. I'm just going based off memory. But this same guy actually made a port of Power Slave.
What?
Yeah, he remastered Power Slave. It's for PC and it's released for free.
That's cool as shit.
If that ever came out on any sort of fashion where I could actually play, I'm sure I could play it on somebody's PC. My computer probably wouldn't handle it. It's just a cheap old laptop. But I would probably do it. But if that game came out on any sort of console, that would be so cool.
I know you preached about that game on the last episode.
I'd be one of the 4 people in line. You know what I mean?
Right, I was going to say,
that's probably
everyone would announce it and say, Power Slave, who gives a shit about that?
Or Iron Maiden had a game.
Yeah, or it'd either be that or what the hell is Power Slave?
Yeah,
exactly. No, that'd be cool, though.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
So anyway, awesome game. Doom, I made, 64. And that's the end of my list. I didn't really...
Yeah, me either.
That's pretty much all I've been playing. All right, games we're looking forward to.
I do actually have a couple new additions to this list.
Same. Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one, I don't know when it's coming out, but I really want to get Panzer Dragoon for the Switch. Actually, I think it's on pre-order right now.
Digitally, you can already buy it.
Oh, can you?
But
well, I want to get. I think Limited Run's doing it, right?
They are, yeah. Physically, it's going to be a few months.
Real shocking announcement. Can't believe that's getting remade.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love that game on the Saturn. One of my favorite games.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told you or not, but I did buy it from Limited Run already.
Oh, did you?
And I bought the Saturn Collector's Edition looking one.
How much was that?
$60.
So cool though.
Yeah, so it's in like that Saturn style case, and that's the only reason I bought it. I just thought it was so cool.
Like when's the last time someone talked about the Saturn?
Yep, there was another game they did that was in a collector's edition style like that, but I think it was it was in a Sega CD style case. Like it was the same case, obviously. With
yeah.
In that bluish.
Oh
color.
yeah, Night Trap.
Yeah,
Night Trap. Yeah, Night Trap.
Did they? There were a couple other Sega CD games they released recently too. Star Wars, Rebel Assault.
Oh yeah, Rebel Assault.
And Secret of Monkey Island, I think was the other one.
When's the last time someone brought that up?
Star Wars Rebel Assault is terrible. That's
yeah.
I don't know why anybody would waste money on that.
Yeah, it's a horrible game because it says Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess you could not. I wouldn't buy that for $5.
Star Wars to me is worthless.
There's good Star Wars games. That is by far not even close to being one of them.
I'd buy it for $5 if I found it at the flea market. Just to have it.
I guess maybe I would too.
Just to have it.
But hell, a good condition Sega CD case is worth $5 to me.
Well, yeah, really. Where can you find those? You got a stash of those? Right. All right. So, what's your first pick?
So I don't want to have people think or have the impression that all I play are first-person shooters, but I do really like them. I'll just go ahead and do 2 of them. I'll do 2 of these games because they're sort of related. The first one is Ion Fury. Now,
I heard that.
Yeah, Ion Fury. It was originally called Ion Maiden, but Iron Maiden caught wind and threatened to sue him. So they changed it to Ion Fury.
They really got upset about that.
Yeah, they did. So they had to change it. In fact, it delayed it a little bit. Not by much, but they did delay it, I think, a little bit.
Didn't know that.
So it is a 90s style first person shooter that's actually built on the Build engine, and the Build engine is the same engine that has that games like Duke Nukem 3D were on.
Oh, okay.
Shadow Warrior, Blood, I think, was on the Build engine, and so you play games that are sort of based or inspired on these 90s style games, but this is one of the first ones that's really gone back to the original engine to build the new game.
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah, and it's published by 3D Realms, who originally did Duke 3D, published that and developed it. You know what? They developed it. I don't know that they published Duke 3D originally, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, obviously it's a heavily modified version of that engine, but it is still at its core a build engine game, which is really, really cool.
I mean, that sounds super good to me. I hadn't even heard of that until now.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, but that's kind of tough to say because it's already out on PC.
Oh, is it?
But it is getting a console port, as Switch being one of them. So that's the version I'm looking forward to. It's probably the version I'll buy.
Put it on my list. No, just one of the other 200 Switch games that I want.
Yeah, and sort of in that same vein is another game that I'm looking forward to called Wrath, Aeon of Ruin, I think is how you would say that.
I have not heard about that.
So this is the same thing. It's a game built on a 90s engine, except this time it's the Quake engine, and it's a game made to look a lot like that era. And this one's out on PC in early access. It's not fully released yet. It's also coming to console.
It's a shooter, right?
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. This one looks really good. Looks a lot like a Quake-style game.
Sign me up.
Yeah,
I love Quake.
This one's gotten a lot of good press from the what do you call it, early access stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to Ion Fury, but I might be looking forward to this one even more. And I had read an article somewhere a couple of months ago that said that they already had Wrath, Aeon of Ruin, running on Switch in 60 frames per second.
Wow.
Which isn't that startling, right? It's a Quake engine game, whatever. But it hasn't even been it's been announced that it's coming to Switch, but there's no release date or any idea of when the thing's actually coming out. So I really hope it comes soon. Yeah, I am really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, both of those games sound excellent, and I don't think I've heard of either one. So
yeah,
gonna need to get those.
Yep.
All right, I got another one here.
Okay.
And it's an odd pick because I don't think you like this game a whole lot, and I didn't like it at all when I played it on the Wii U. That's the Wonderful 101.
Oh yeah, okay.
So kind of a shocking release. Was not expecting that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I played this game when it came out, I remember the controls sucked.
Yeah,
something about
the
controls
easiest.
Was not very good. But the idea of the game to me is really appealing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that they change the controls.
Yeah, so from what I remember, the way that it worked was you had to draw on the gamepad certain shapes,
to make
or
weapons
whatever
and stuff, right?
Yeah, it would turn your 100 minions into
it turns it into
a weapon.
Yeah, that's right.
And the different shape you would draw would dictate the different weapon. It worked out pretty well because the gamepad, whatever. But
right.
The alternative scheme was you could actually draw. I think it was with the right thumbstick, which did not work out quite as well.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it would. That just sounds like hard already.
So it makes me wonder, what are they doing on the Switch? I mean, it has a touchscreen, but not when you're playing on.
Not when you're playing in handheld mode, right? Or on the TV. Sorry.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting how they do that. But I think it was a good game that just tried.
It just missed the mark.
Didn't quite work out 100%.
It just missed the mark by a little bit.
Yeah.
But I remember being really excited for it before it came out.
Yeah.
It looked great.
I remember when that game was being sort of teased. It was originally called Project P100.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was one of the big Wii U exclusives. It's like, oh, this is going to be the game that sells the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it came out, and it was like a 7 out of 10 for most reviewers. That kind of game. Good, but not game breaking.
I mean, I wanted to say I can't imagine it sold well, but how could it? No one bought a Wii U.
Yeah, and I don't think it sold well at all. I don't think it did. So.
Yeah, so and it was a Kickstarter funded project, and it got funded. So
this new one, you mean the remastered?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, some people out there like this game.
Yeah, I remember reading about this that the Kickstarter was not meant to actually raise funds, but more to gain interest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they don't. It's a Platinum Games game. They don't. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Not like,
they don't really need money.
Yeah, you would think they could publish this themselves. So, I mean, it did go towards something. The money did. It's not, but it was mostly to just gauge interest in a remaster.
Well, I mean, it seems like enough people were interested.
Yeah, which is kind of. I don't know if I buy that 100% because not only a couple of weeks after the Kickstarter got funded, they announced the release date. It's like, okay, all right, you knew you were going to do it.
Okay, so it's already done then.
Yeah, it's been announced formally.
So it has a date? Does it have a date?
I believe it does.
Oh yeah, it does. It says right here, May 19th.
I was gonna say, I think it's in May. Yeah, so there's no way that the version wasn't already basically done by the time that Kickstarter.
And it's not a Switch exclusive either. It's also coming to PC and PS4. No shocker, it's not getting Xbox One release.
Yeah, so for PC, I could see using the mouse to draw those things would be okay.
Yeah.
And on the PS4, you have that touchpad.
Yeah, you have that little touchpad.
That might work.
But yeah, interesting to see how they do the Switch.
Yeah. I'm guessing it'll have two controller styles. Like you can use the touch screen.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
That's my guess.
All right, so you got another one?
I did. I don't know how relevant this is, but actually I bought the game already. Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh yeah.
So it's a game that's out. I just haven't played it. And I guess part of the reason I haven't played it is because I want to play the first one first. Ori and the Blind Forest.
I hear both are supposed to be excellent.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I've heard too. So
I'd like to get them.
Yeah, I do want to play it. But I have to wait. And I bought the collector's edition because it was a good price, I thought, for what it came with. And
you got it on Xbox, right?
Yeah, that's the only place you can buy this one. It might be on PC too, but it's not.
I was gonna say it's not on Switch, I don't think.
No, not yet. At least we'll see if that happens or not. But anyway, I had put that on the list because I had forgotten to include it in other ones. But I did already buy it. I just haven't played it. So. All right, well that's it. I guess unless you had any other games.
No, those are the kind of the big two that really struck out to me as interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then that's the last thing. Besides the random piece of trivia.
Yeah. So all right. I got a pretty good one here, and it's one I didn't know actually.
Okay.
Have you ever played Golden Axe?
On the Genesis.
I'm assuming this is
the arcade.
I'm assuming this is talking about the arcade.
Then no, I haven't. I played the Genesis one.
But all right, so you know what Golden Axe is.
Oh yeah.
So interesting here. I never knew this. The death screams of the bad guys in the original Golden Axe are digitized from screams used in the films First Blood and Conan the Barbarian.
Where did I did know that, but I forget. There's a video I watched that talked about that.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yes. It might have been a GameSack video.
I wouldn't surprise me.
I can't remember, but yes, that is funny. That's a good one.
Yeah, I never knew that. Very interesting.
Yeah. And in the video I watched, it put them side by side, like the death screen and the
you can definitely tell it's the same thing.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Interesting. Yeah, I just thought that was funny.
That is a good one. That's a good trivia one. That's that is funny. That is funny. God, where did I watch that? I think it was it GameSack? Yeah, it must have been. I think it
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I love a GameSack.
Yeah, he does good stuff.
It sucks Dave left, but
yeah.
He does all right on his own.
Yeah, I think he's fine. And the views still seem to be there, so that's good.
Right, yeah, so that's good.
Cool. All right. Well, that was a good send off. That was a good one. That was a lot better than mine last week about just randomly talking about Doom on Saturn. I need to actually get a good one like that.
And it took me some looking to find.
Yeah,
I didn't
but no,
want to
that's a
just
good
pull
one.
some common ass stuff like, oh,
Yeah.
do you know that Mario's original name was Jumpman?
Right. Exactly.
Like, yeah, everyone does.
Yep. No, that's a good one. That's you've definitely upped me on trivia's so far.
All right. Well, next time we record, you got to get a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start. It's gonna take me probably 2 weeks to find, so that's just fine.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So great. Cool. Well, that's the end of the episode. Very good. I think we've kept it on this right around the same amount of time every episode. So that's
yeah,
great.
it seems to be running around like maybe hour and a half ish.
Hour 20, hour and a half, something like that. So this one's we're an hour 15. So that's perfect.
Yeah, okay. Actually, a little bit shorter than the last couple.
Yeah. Coronavirus.
Yeah,
anyway,
well.
So cool. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Wednesday, 2 weeks from now.